Hi, it's Caleb from StoneMan Climbing Company's Department of Redundancy Department. Today we're going to be going over how to place stoppers and how to clean stoppers. First, let's talk about stoppers. The anatomy of stoppers are quite simple. There is a chunk of aluminum on one end, and then a steel cable on the other end. They have different tapers depending on the side. There is this obvious taper. There is this less obvious taper. And so when you place these in the crack, it depends on where the tapers are at because they're not all the same. These stoppers have this obvious taper and a less obvious taper and a different angle to that taper. When you place a stopper or a cam in the rock, it is only as good as the rock that it's been placed in. That's why the first thing we're gonna do is assess, is this rock solid? Just like the cam, we're gonna look at it. Does it sound like it's consolidated and a high-pitched sound, or is it hollow, like a ripe watermelon or something hollow? If it's something hollow or a ripe watermelon, that's a bad noise to hear, and that's not solid rock. And you wanna make certain that it's not crumbling away as you put your stopper in. So I have a solid rock. The next thing I assess is the orientation of pull. Am I setting this stopper in the direction that it's going to be loaded, which I am. The third thing I want to assess is the surface area of the stopper. I want to make certain that it's got the majority of the sides of the stopper that are contacting the rock, which is typically two sides are contacting the rock, that they are wedged in the rock and that the rock gets smaller below that. So to assess the quality of the stopper, I'm going to first assess the solid rock, 1 point, the orientation of pull, 2 points, and the surface area of the stopper itself, 3 points. That's one solid stopper. After you've placed a stopper, if you're going to be the one removing the stopper or cleaning it, leave your broom at home, because all you need is a stopper tool and maybe you can get by without using it. The first thing we're going to try is the clean and jerk method. Not just an Olympic lift, but a way to clean the stopper. To do that, I want to grab fabric. Fabric's nice to your fingers. Don't grab a carabiner or the steel cable, as that can hurt the tendons inside of your hand. So I'm going to grab this dog bone of this draw. I'm going to orient it up and I'm going to give it a tug. Whoop! No tool needed. Now, let's say that this stopper was placed a little bit stronger, and the first time I go to do that clean and jerk, I can't get it. Well, I can keep yarding on it, but I might bend the steel cable and that will decrease the life of your stopper. And if that's the case, you want to get out a stopper tool. You'll see most stopper tools have a point right here, and I like to place it between the two steel cables, and I like to get it onto the stopper if possible. Sometimes it can't reach based on the rock contact, and sometimes it just gets right next to it. Sometimes all you'll get is this outside. But essentially you're trying to reverse the direction that it was placed, very similar to the cam. So I'm going to place that point on that stopper in between the steel cables. I'm going to take the carabiner that had been attached to and I'm going to put it through my 3 fingers, kind of like brass knuckles, and I'm just going to start giving it a tap. And then once it's free, then I can just wiggle it out. Sometimes it gets lost in there. That's why there's this hook there. So sometimes you'll actually have to fish it out. But now I've cleaned the stopper, spick and span.